Dear students, I welcome you back to the class of English Optional BA third year Literary Theory and Criticism. In this semester, we are dealing with section A of this paper, that is Introduction to Literary Criticism. We have been dealing with the first unit for last several classes. In unit number 1, we will be dealing with Greek and Roman masters. In the previous classes, we dealt with Introduction to Literary Criticism, what is criticism, who is critic, and what is the difference between critical reading and ordinary reading. Means what is the difference between critic and ordinary reader? We came across these aspects in the previous classes. Then we dealt with the first Greek master included in our syllabus, that is Plato. We came across Plato's perspective, Plato's observation on poetry, Plato's observation on drama, Plato's theory of ideas, Plato's observation on style. Today, we are going to deal with the second Greek master included in our syllabus, that is Aristotle. Aristotle is very much popular among all disciplines of learning. Today, we are going to study Aristotle as a literary critic. Aristotle was born in the year 384 and he breathed his last in 322 BC. He was one of the greatest Greek philosophers of all time. Aristotle was a disciple of great Greek master Plato. He studied under the able guidance of Plato for 20 years. Later on, Aristotle taught Alexander the Great for 6 years. Therefore, Aristotle is remembered or is popular as the master of Alexander the Great, who dreamed the dream to conquer the world. Students, there is great master-disciple chain in the history of the world. That is Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and Alexander the Great. Socrates is the first great critic in this chain. Socrates taught Plato, Plato taught Aristotle, and Aristotle taught Alexander the Great, who tried to conquer the world with the help of his army and his muscle powers. Aristotle is known as father of logic. He studied and wrote about several subjects which were known to the Greeks. Here is the list of the subjects with which Aristotle dealt. The first one is physics. Aristotle studied and wrote about physics. He studied and wrote about astronomy. He studied and wrote about politics. He studied and wrote about ethics. He studied literature and wrote about literature. He studied aesthetics and he wrote about aesthetics. There are near about half dozen critical books at his credit. Some of his books are very much popular. Here I feel these three books worth mentioning. The first one is Poetics, second one Rhetoric, and third one the Poetics. Poetics is a world famous critical book of Aristotle which deals with the art of poetry. Another book is there that is entitled as Rhetoric. In this book, Aristotle dealt with the art of speech. Poetics is a popular book on criticism written in several volumes. This book focuses on the nature of tragedy, the nature of comedy, and nature of epic poetry. So dear students, today we have come across perspective of Aristotle, his birthplace, his subjects of interest, and a list of the subjects in which he tried his hand, and his popular treatises and their content. In the following class, we shall be studying Aristotle's observation on poetry, Aristotle's observation on tragedy, Aristotle's observation on comedy, Aristotle's observation on style, Aristotle and three unities. Then we shall deal with Aristotle and epic poetry. So, students, with this, I would like to remain here. The rest of the things we shall continue in the following classes. Thank you very much.